All right, guys, welcome back to Remotely Wasted. Here to talk college football with you. And it is here. The playoffs,
Are
they're
upon
set.
us.
The matchups are set. This was one of the more controversial
Oh, dude, college football,
selections.
it entered, it's pure anarchy. It's a chaos. Uh,
This has been a common theme over the past at least three
since
years.
since they moved to 12, it's been just at the end of the season, just chaos.
Well, what
Somebody's always getting fucked over in one way or another. I'm trying. I guess I probably should have used a different word. It's just the committee. I think's bad. I think we could move to 24, switch to BCS rankings, and get rid of the committee. Let the computer sort it, and then
Yeah, I
at
mean, with the advancement of like AI and stuff, do we
yep,
really need a human committee at this
nope,
point?
and all the bias associated because they're all athletic directors for schools that are potentially in the playoffs or getting snubbed from the playoffs. So there's biases in the votes, whether you believe that or not. There's got to be something deep down. You switch to 24 teams, let the computer seed them. Based off of the program or however the algorithm's gonna decide, and then reseed after the first round
Yeah.
and let it ride.
Yeah, you gotta I think at this point you probably gotta expand to 24. I mean, the FCS has been doing 24 for a long time. It's
It's
been
working
working
for
for
them.
them. They don't really seem to have any issues, so I don't know why it can't be done at the FBS level. And also, if you're gonna have a committee, like let's make it some coaches, former players, get like six non-NFL Heisman players and then get like six former coaches that aren't currently coaching and let them come up with it. Why is it a bunch of athletic directors who might not
They all
even
got
know
skin in the
anything about the
game.
sport? And I
Yeah,
don't know.
or they've never even played the game. They don't know shit. They just know like, oh, this is gonna make us money if this team's in. This is a bigger market. Um, yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't know, man. Alabama making it feels wrong.
The I'm like I the it's like I guess like the kind of logic that they're using is really what
And it
has
changes
irritated
like
me the
every
most.
week almost. It changes season to season. 'Cause I don't think it's the same committee every
I
year.
think they change the committee basically every year. And one thing I'm like kind of looking at is like week to week there's no consistency. I'm not so much mad about the teams that got in and how it played out as much as I'm irritated about how their logic just doesn't add up on any level. So for example, this entire season you've had Notre Dame ahead of Miami. The
Yeah,
entire season.
the whole time, just about. Other than like once Miami lost that first game is when they swapped. I think it was Louisville. Since then, what week was that? Um, one, two, three, four, five. Since week six, I'm pretty sure that's when they flopped or flipped.
Yeah, so I mean you're looking at
7 weeks, maybe with a bye, eight potentially. I'm not sure exactly how it would shake out, but that's like four, not 4 months. Jesus Christ.
it's like 4 weeks and then they didn't play this weekend and then they swapped because BYU moved behind. They dropped. So this is like another that's and that brings up another point. So Bama, they lose by 3 touchdowns. They don't move
They
down a
got
single spot. They stay in the
fucking
exact same
smoked.
spot. That's a little weird. Bama doesn't move down a single spot, but BYU got beat by just about the same margin and
They're
they
the
dropped like 2 spots.
I think they're the only team that lost a conference game that didn't move. Like North Texas fell. Temple wasn't ranked 'cause that's who played James Madison. Virginia dropped. BYU dropped. Notre Dame dropped one just because they didn't play. Ohio State
Well,
dropped.
BYU just dropped 1 spot, so not 2 spots, but they still dropped
Right,
a
but
spot.
still, uh, like not dropping any spots, and then also you have three losses too on top of that, and you lost to a team that has 5 wins week one. I get they have like good wins on the resume, but like where do you draw the line? Like, what if they had 4 losses, they still making it?
Yeah,
Say
and
say
that's what
say,
I'm
say they
saying.
lost to I don't know, say they lost this game to South Carolina and maybe Missouri, but then they beat Georgia if they somehow made the SEC championship. So they have 4 losses, but then win the SEC. It's like they have. It's like it doesn't fucking matter. It's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't so much
for
have
certain teams. It doesn't
I don't
matter.
have a super big complaint about them making it. To me, it's just weird that okay, Ohio State. I mean, they have to drop a spot because they lost to the number two team.
They
So
only
like
lost by 3.
those
Fair.
teams had to swap. Now I am curious, like, had Ohio State played somebody else that wasn't number two in the Big Ten championship somehow? Like, would they have just stayed at number one? Like, would they have not moved at all? Because I mean, like
I
the
I
logic
don't
just
know.
kind of isn't making sense. Because Bama got beat decisively, so you
Bad.
would think they would at least move down to like 10. Like, if you're gonna go with the like, oh, we can't punish teams for making the conference championship, which I do understand that argument because like you're looking at A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, all teams in the SEC didn't make the championship. They're locked by not having to play, so you
I
can't really
I just
can't punish them.
I don't like that. Like the video I sent you, Gruden breaking down the teams and the playoffs and like, if you're not making a conference championship, you're basically getting a free bye week. Um, he was basically stating like, okay, you have these conference championship games, but then everybody else that's slotted to make the playoffs needs to play as well. They're basically kind of playing the teams on the outside. So it would be in this scenario, Indiana, Ohio State was playing each other. Georgia was playing Bama, so Texas Tech was playing. So it would have been Oregon playing. I can't remember what it was. I think it was maybe Texas, something like that. So say like Oregon would play Texas. Winner makes it in, losers out. Ole Miss would play Vanderbilt, winners in, losers out. OU would play like Utah, um, something like that. So I don't know exactly what his matchups were, but they all like really made sense, and it was like James Madison playing one of these teams or something like that.
Yeah, it
And
was
like,
like the way he had it set up was it was basically like it was like a plan for the teams that weren't in the conference championship.
yo,
Like it was basically just like a first round of the playoff. Essentially,
yeah,
was what it was for the non-conference
because it doesn't
championship
make
playing
sense for
people.
them just to get a free bye week just because they're not playing in their conference championship. Like that gives them a whole week of rest, rolling into it's like 3 weeks of rest actually because they had this
It
week
doesn't
off.
start till the 19th. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
like two almost 3 full weeks. Like that's insane. Just because you didn't make your conference championship, like you're getting
that's
rewarded
why I don't have
almost.
a problem with like Bama still making it to the playoffs. I just don't. I think we're
Oh,
frozen up.
there it goes. And like
Okay.
if you look at the bracket, I mean, we'll roll into it here in a little bit, but like you make the first seed or number one, like you don't get rewarded. Like they have, it's not an easy matchup. They might have like the worst matchup. After the quarterfinals, like there's no benefit to even getting the 1 seed. The 3 seed's the best seed to get in this particular year, in my opinion. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I
and
mean, it was like that last year,
yeah,
basically. I mean,
exactly. So it's almost like I seen another video. It was like if you get the 1 seed, you should get to pick who you play from the winners of the previous round, which I think it was like that was a kind of a cool idea, I suppose. I didn't hate that. Um, it's got to be like reseeded or something because it doesn't like you don't even want to be one at this point. You don't want to be one. You don't want to be four. You want to be two or three. It's like it's very flawed. The whole thing's just flawed. I think from top to bottom and in a lot of different ways. Yeah, largely I think all the teams that deserve to make it made it. Um, I think the only team I don't think should have made it should be Alabama. I'd rather see Notre Dame make it than Alabama personally. Or yeah, that's probably the only one I would swap.
yeah, I mean,
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I just feel like you can't punish the team for making it,
But you got blown
but
out in the conference championship. You had negative what 2, 3 rushing yards. You got fucking hammered. It was bad. It wasn't close at all. And those are like that's the teams you're gonna be playing in the playoffs. Like you already lost to Oklahoma. That's the team that's in the playoffs. You just got absolutely smacked by Georgia, who you beat weeks prior, and then you somehow just got absolutely massacred. Like uh, uh, the last couple weeks for Alabama, I feel like ain't been super well. They had a close game against South Carolina. Uh, it's just they had a close ass game in the Iron Bowl with Auburn. Auburn just shot their whole foot off on that last drive. Auburn could have tied that game and pushed it to OT. Like okay, 3 out of the last 4 weeks have been rough for them. Ever since OU, they've just been sliding. And like none of that's taken into consideration. Plus, you had this glaring, huge, terrible loss week 1, which nobody's even talking about. Like we are bad.
Yeah, I mean that's a
That
low quality loss. I mean
and
the
that's
only
like
thing I
Notre
guess
Dame. Notre Dame last year losing to Northern Illinois. That nobody gave a shit about that.
yeah, I mean I guess one of the complaints I have is really just like the contrast and how BYU is being looked at in comparison to Alabama. Because if you look at BYU, they have two losses to the number 4 team in the country. Like those are two high
That's
quality
not that. That's
losses.
that's really good.
They got a high quality win over Utah. Um, did they play Arizona? Because Arizona's kind of like risen up, so maybe they have a win over that. I can't remember. But BYU might have a better resume now than they did earlier. Yeah, they played Arizona, who's now 15, so they got a win over 15 Utah, and actually Arizona I think was like 17. So they got 15 and 17 wins. Two losses that are both high quality, and one was a bonus conference championship game. Um,
But fuck them, right?
and Alabama has a lower quality loss, so I don't understand why they're left out. Like why wasn't like BYU as much included in the debate? It just doesn't make any sense. And then I don't have a problem with Miami making it over Notre Dame because if you look at the resumes, they're pretty comparable, and Miami has the
I
head
mean,
to
yeah,
head. But why were they not ahead the whole time though? If that was your logic, why would you wait until the last week?
the very last fucking minute to
And by
swap.
their same logic, like the only reason Notre Dame got jumped by Miami is because BYU moved behind because they lost. But by their own logic, BYU shouldn't have moved. So like Notre Dame should be in the
I was under the impression if BYU lost, they was making it regardless. I thought they was like, win or lose, they're in. Like the two Big 12 teams were in. I don't know if maybe Virginia losing fucked them over, which maybe I don't know. I feel like there was just a little bit of too much chaos, and they was in there and they was like meeting and they had no idea what the fuck to do with the bottom like couple spots. Um,
a lot of
like
people are complaining about how the group of five gets an automatic bid. Get over that shit. Like you
I
don't
don't mind
lose
it.
2 to 3 games if you want in the playoffs.
That's
But
like Vanderbilt's coach. He actually had some accountability. He was like, I think somebody asked him like whether he was mad if they didn't make it or not, and he's like, you know what, it's not anybody else's fault. That's on us. We should have played better. That's exactly how it should be. Um, and then you got Notre Dame crying about it, and then they're like opting out of their bowl game. I guess we can roll into that. And teams already opting out of their bowl games. They opted out um, because they didn't make the playoffs. They have zero reason to opt out. And then that rolls into a bowl game opened up because K State opted out because they don't have a coach right now, and their new coach I probably isn't going to be fully integrated into the team by the time the bowl game rolls
well,
around.
yeah, I mean they got Colin Klein as their new
So
coach.
like I understand K-State opting out. I get that one. So then it rolls down to there's like these 6 teams with only 5 wins that weren't actually even bowl eligible to begin with. My team included, and I think it was us. It was Auburn. I want to say Arkansas. I can't remember some of the other ones, but like we all opted out as well, which I've seen some people talk about it like I guess you could think about it both like a couple different ways. So like from my team's perspective, like yeah, I would maybe like to see, another game with maybe our, future quarterback for next year getting some like game reps. Uh I guess I can roll more into it on team talk or later, maybe later on in this episode, because I think we might just do one big one for this one instead of breaking it up, just because there's not a whole lot of material to cover because it was a shorter week. But there's some teams, their season was over 2 weeks ago, and their players they're not even a team anymore. They're all kind of moved on almost. Like so, you're not even gonna have a full team. Players have already probably decided they're gonna enter the portal. So you're not gonna have a full team come that bowl game. So I get some of these teams maybe opting out.
Well, that's been kind of a common theme for probably like the last 3 to 4 years is that you get to the bowl game and then like almost all your team's gone. So it's basically like I think I brought this up last week. It turns into a glorified spring game where you just get to kind of
Yeah,
take a look
essentially.
at your young guys. But I mean Notre Dame's the one that really started it this weekend. And I will say like, I do think Notre Dame should have gotten the playoffs, but at the same time, the way they are acting is insane. I saw that they talked to the committee chairman or something and they got a guarantee that they'll be in the playoffs if they're in the top 12. And this has happened. This is the second year in the row this has happened. Last year, it was the rules were different. It was the top four conference championships get the automatic buys, but Boise State got one of those. So the SEC
They
and the
threw a
Big
fit.
Ten threw a giant fit. So then they just changed it to, well, it's just the top five teams in general. And now what they're setting the stage for is getting rid of the Group Five spot. So
They're
Notre Dame.
trying. They're
But
trying.
that's what they're trying to do. But the SEC commissioner even said that like you have to have a group of five team in because like how are you going to have all five of those group of five conferences playing for nothing? Like he's like you can't
They're
do it. They got to have something to play for.
they're gonna fall apart. All those schools are gonna lose all their football. They're not gonna make any money. They're just gonna dissolve. And that's how many teams is that? That's a lot.
I have a solution for it. Um,
That's so many.
I
23
don't,
teams. Boom. 24 teams. Yeah,
yeah,
you
I
have a
mean,
good, couple group of five teams in there. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? You got 24 through 20s group of five teams. Yeah, all right, whatever. That's easy dubs first week. No bye weeks.
yeah, I have a little PowerPoint I made about it. I might actually
Oh
pull it up because
shit.
it's pretty quick.
Nick's got a
Um,
PowerPoint. He came prepared. All right, I'll stop.
it's not anything like too crazy.
Go and slap her
Um,
up there, dude.
let me share my screen. I'm not usually the one that shares, so I get a little confused when I'm doing that.
Could have just emailed it to me.
Ugh, why can't I see like what it is?
But I guess yeah. While he's working on that, yeah, if in this current format they force out the group of five, that's how many schools is that? That's so many. Like if you got that's probably at least 50, right? Let's
Yeah, I mean
see.
it's something like that. Oh, let's see. How do I do this? Man.
What is going on? Oh my God! If you could see my fucking screen, this pissed me off. Oh. Okay. We want what rankings? Okay, so let's see. What the fuck? Is it just gone? The standings?
It might be. Oh my God.
There it is. Okay, so we got the American Conference has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That 14. There's 14 teams just in that conference. I'll get a little calculator. We'll start adding these bad boys up. 14. Central USA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 26 total. Independent plus UConn. Notre Dame will never not be included again, apparently.
I guess I don't
One,
have
two,
the
three,
privacy
4, 5,
settings to
6,
share my screen for some reason. So, um,
13 in the MAC. Mountain West. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus 12. 52 plus the Pac-12 plus 2. Pac-12 being just 2. Sun Belt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 68 teams. 68 teams that basically just, lose football because they're not going to have nothing to play for. You might as well just drop the Division Two at that point. Uh,
well, yeah, and
they're
that's
going
what
to FCS.
that's kind of like what I was getting at. I'm gonna email you the little thing I made because I have a solution that I think works for not really works for everybody, but kind of works for everybody. It's like a happy medium. Um,
That's so much though. Like that. How many teams is there? Was it 100 and
there's like 133 or actually I think it's close to like 140 teams, 138 maybe. That sounds right. 138 sounds like that's the correct amount. So my solution basically is that
where the fuck is my goddamn calculator? What is going on here?
we turn it into like a super league,
All right.
which is what I sent.
This pissed me off. Just take out the 64 or whatever. What is going on? Why the shit's not working? Because the fucking half of my screen is you.
Yeah, I sent you that PowerPoint, so
It's pissing me off.
I'll
All
explain
right.
what
You
my
said what?
system is.
How many teams do you think their total is?
138, I believe, is the total
138.
amount of
What
teams.
did I say? 64 or 68?
64, I believe, is what you said.
All
Might
right,
have
so
been
there's only 74 teams that can ever play for the playoffs.
Well, actually, that's what I'm getting at. Actually, I'm gonna make
Nasty,
to what
nasty
I'm gonna
league.
make it to where there's 82 teams every year that can make the playoffs. That's my theory that I made up.
You said you emailed it?
Yeah, I emailed it.
All right, I'm just waiting for that to come in. But
Let me make sure I did.
that's just crazy. Like, there's no that's scummy. I honestly, I feel like coming down the pipe, it's gonna move from 12 to more teams. That's the only thing that makes sense because every year somebody's getting left out. There's some crying. You move it to 24, all the schools that would be sitting there at 25, 26, 27 don't have enough weight to cry and make drastic changes. Compared to
Yeah,
now, sitting at 12, you got Notre Dame, these big schools, Texas, crying about it, swinging their money around and their brands so they can enforce change. But you move it to 24, you got the team sitting right there. They're not big enough to make change. They're not making enough waves. And unless I don't know, fucking Texas has a bad year and they have 5 losses and they're sitting at 27, and they're like, oh, why are we not getting in? We're Texas. Motherfucker, you got 5 losses, dude. Kick rocks. And so at
yeah,
that point, 24 is like a perfect sweet spot, I think. You could probably even do, I don't know, I'm just maybe six. You could do like 6 buys, six teams on a buy, top six, or you could still do top four probably. And not sure how that maybe the math ain't, mathing, but um, how do I open this? Attached presentation.
that took forever to fucking figure out. God damn,
Um, hmm.
this was
Oh, maybe that's that it. Download.
because it's not an actual PowerPoint. It's like the
Okay,
Google
okay.
version of
Let's see.
PowerPoint.
Let's see. Let's see.
Let's pull that up on the screen. I'll give you my theory on how we fix college football.
All right.
Um,
Step
so
one.
step one, we're gonna merge
Oh,
the Power Four conferences into a super league of 82 total teams. We're gonna divide these by geographical regions of 10, mostly 10, but a couple of 11 teams because we're gonna add Notre Dame and like a couple of other teams that aren't Power Four into this, and then we're gonna have a Group of Five division, which I'll explain a little bit later on. So
okay.
first
Okay.
division, we're gonna have the new SEC. So we're going regional. We're going Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Miami, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, UCF.
Boy,
This would be
that's
a very
fucking
tough one to
loaded.
play.
How many? Okay, so how many teams would make it out of every region?
Yeah, I'll explain
Oh,
that
okay, okay, okay.
like at
So
at
how
the
many? How
end.
many is that? One, two, three, four, five,
I think
six,
that's
seven,
10.
11. Is it 11 every time or?
It's 10 to 11 depending
Okay,
on
okay.
the
Yeah, I think you
conference.
said that. I'm already slightly drunk, so
And we got the new Big Ten. This is like the North Midwest: Cincinnati, Indiana, Michigan State, Minnesota, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Purdue, Wisconsin. They're all kind of geographically pretty
So
close.
is this like, there's, say you got in this case 10 teams. Are they all playing each other?
Yeah,
And then what, you have two just random fucking tune-up games, so like
you
could
get
be
yeah
FCS teams,
you
or
get
you
two
could
to
schedule an out-of-conference team if you wanted to, maybe. I don't know, a rivalry game.
you're gonna play everybody's gonna play 9 conference games and then 3 non-conference. 10, 11,
Yeah,
12. Yeah.
okay. I
So
guess
yeah,
that makes
nine
sense.
conference, 3 non-conference, and then how you schedule your non-conference. The way I have this set up, it incentivizes a strong non-conference schedule. So we don't have to hear the whining anymore. Because
You
this
see
is
that?
going to incentivize it. Then I got the new Big 12. This is like the South Central portion of the region. We're going to have Arkansas, Baylor, Houston, LSU, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, SMU, TCU, Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech. Basically, all the Texas teams plus Oklahoma, LSU, Arkansas, which are all really really close by. And then we're going to go down to the Northeast, Northern East Coast Conference. We're going to have Army, Boston College, Maryland, Navy, Penn State, Pitt, Rutgers, Syracuse, UConn, West Virginia. So
Penn State would never not win the conference. Or they
it's
should
a
never not.
it's a pretty easy setup. I'm not going to lie for Penn State, but like the way I have it, maybe West
Yeah.
Virginia could probably compete every now and then.
I
Uh,
mean,
Pitt
Pitt,
could
Pitt.
potentially.
Fuck, Navy is actually pretty good, so that they would maybe only lose to Penn State. I mean, that's not terrible, I suppose. It's not terrible.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
going kind of strict geographically. Then this is the new Pac-12. Basically the old Pac-12, basically Arizona, Arizona State, BYU, Cal, Colorado, Oregon, Stanford, UCLA, USC, Utah, Washington. Pretty much most of them add in BYU.
What happened with the font here?
Yeah, I don't know. It like changed and I couldn't figure out how to change it back. So then we got this the central weird portion of the country, Illinois, Iowa, Iowa State, Kansas, K-State, Missouri, Nebraska, Northwestern, Tennessee, Vandy, all geographically pretty close. And then the last one we got is the well, actually, this is the last geographical one before we get to the group of five thing, and I'll explain that a little bit further. The Sun Belt will be Clemson, Duke, Kentucky, Louisville, NC State, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, kind of combining. There's like 5 or 6 Carolina teams, which I didn't really like realize till making this list. You really kind of combine that area with the 2 Kentucky teams, 2 Virginia teams, and you got a good little thing there. And then the group of five. So what I have here, this is not going to be geographical. We're going off of uh
Like the
group of five
top ones.
teams that have been very prominent or have big names.
I
So
guess you could almost do like a relegation with
that's what I'm saying.
this
Champions League format.
conference. So like the bottom I don't know, bottom two, bottom three, bottom four of this conference swap out with four more
Yeah,
of
that's
maybe the
exactly.
new kind of up and comers if they slid off to like FCS or something. Like yeah, you could slide FCS schools up into this, maybe something like that.
Yeah, that's what. So that was what I was thinking. So my theory was we do this would be like Division 1 basically. But this
Yeah.
group of five conference right here, if you like say like you're in one of those teams that weren't in the top 82, like the 130 to 83, like if you're at the top of that, like those bottom ones and this one swap out with those.
Like
So
North
now
Dakota State, stuff like that.
yeah, and then even SCS would be like the third division, and they could climb up to 2 and even to 1, depending on how well they compete each year, which incentivizes everybody in college football
So
to
maybe you can make it. You have a shot. You can make the ultimate national championship, like, or I guess bracket potentially.
yeah,
You climb your
exactly.
way up a season, make it to the next division to play
And then
in
it,
the
it
group of
puts a
five
lot of
conference.
uh urgency on those teams that are in that bottom four, like, oh shit, we got to get to 6. Like
Or
like
we're
it
getting dropped.
it gets really intense. Like there's some real stakes on the line for games that normally wouldn't be important. So the
Yeah.
way I have it set up in terms of like how we do the seeding and everything, the 8 division winners get automatic bids. If the runner ups that play in the championship game have 2 losses or less going into the championship game, automatic bid, and then the committee just hand selects the rest at large at large spots. How we fit this into the current schedule? We just start the season 2 weeks earlier. The college football, I don't know why they don't start a little bit earlier because that's like the NFL starts like a week after college football. Like, take advantage of that. Like, make college football kind of the
Ain't
forefront for
nothing
like a
going
few
on
weeks.
other than preseason right there. And the NFL's playing preseason games, so it's not like you can't play football right then. It's not like it's too cold
It's not
or
too, it's definitely
or
not going to be too hot.
or it's not
Um,
super fucking hot. You're playing fucking in August anyways. It's hot as shit.
you're practicing in the weather, so I mean, it makes no
Yeah,
difference if you're playing a game or
sack
not.
up.
So then I have rules as far as recruiting, transfer portal, and coaching changes. We just do this after the national championship. It's a 2 month long window. It goes till March. And once it's closed, it's closed.
Just
You can't do
one
any
portal window.
changes. Yep, just one window. Then I got a thing with NIL. Players have to receive money. Like if they receive money, they got to sign a contract that determines when they could transfer. Might be a year contract, might be a 2 year contract. That's between them and the school. If the team starts the player less than the agreed upon amount, the player could transfer. The players get one free transfer before having to sit a year out. And then if a player stays with the team for the full 4 years, they're granted an extra year of eligibility and a free transfer. I think
I
this
fuck
would
with
solve
that.
college football. Like I think like this would fix it all.
Yeah, I like this a lot actually. I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's some holes in it somewhere, but right now at face value, sounds money to me. I like the whole relegation idea, and I mean, I don't think this would ever come to be. Like fucking MLS and all the different divisions of like American soccer, football, or whatever you want to call it, are still like struggling with this whole thing to get in line with European structure. I think they're even moving their calendar around to kind of fit with them a little bit currently. So I mean, they're changing a little bit, but still, like, I mean, if they can't do it, I feel like fucking college football would never do it either. But like, I like this a lot, and it definitely does seem like it would solve a lot of issues. Um,
Maybe the divisions will probably have to be moved around a little bit. 'Cause some of them are a little bit top heavy and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and I mean, it would probably save a lot of people a lot of money traveling wise. I mean, you got. It's like, let's see, would the SEC be really losing? Because the SEC and the Big Ten would dictate probably like yay or nays. Like, would they be losing too much moving to this, like value wise from the teams? So you're gaining Florida State, gaining Georgia Tech, and Miami, and UCF. So those are at least Florida State. Georgia Tech's an up and coming team currently in Miami. So you get at least two really big brands in Miami and Florida State coming in. Who are they losing? You're losing Vandy, you're losing Tennessee, you're losing
Texas and Oklahoma.
Texas and Oklahoma, which are fucking massive. Currently, I don't think the Florida State Miami influx outweighs the outro of Oklahoma, Texas. It doesn't offset that with
Yeah, I mean the
even
way I'm kind of looking at this though is that like these are more like divisions under one giant conference. So
yeah. And I
like
mean,
all of
it's
them
gonna make
turn
it
into like an
harder.
NFL style league.
And it's gonna make it harder to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like playing, you have to play the whole conference basically. So it's like a stacked schedule every single year. So it's harder to make the playoffs consistently. So there's no way they would move to this or agree to it. Like Alabama's got to play a fucking gauntlet every single year. There's just no damn way they would agree to this. They'd be crying about this to the end of time. Oh, we're never making the playoffs. Well, play better. I don't know. Big Ten.
I mean, there's 8 extra at large bids though, so I'm like, just be like the third best team in a conference, and you got a very good shot
I
at
mean,
making
as
it.
a fan, yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is
Obviously,
a
like
super cool idea.
if they can't even have it to where players can't transfer in the middle of the postseason and coaches can't leave right before the playoffs, like they'll never get to this because they're not that smart. The way they're structured, it's actually
Maybe it's a slight pipe dream. I think it could eventually get to this. I really do. I don't. I'm not saying it's impossible. It might get to that point, because um, with it's almost kind of like that in a way. The Big Ten, like the top two teams are playing for their conference championship. ACC same way, SEC same way. Like they've kind of made a step in that direction, but the conferences definitely need some maybe realignments. It's like so hard probably to kick teams out of a conference or move them out. Like I don't even know how that would work. Like how much are you gonna have to pay this team to kick them out of your conference to
well,
move them around?
yeah. I mean, the way I would think of it is
Like
like
how long has these teams been in this conference? Like some of these teams have been in these conferences since the fucking beginning.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying is like we got to kind of get rid of the conferences and make it like where the Big Ten, the Big 12, the ACC, the SEC, they just merge and then they split the money and they split it into divisions. That way, those like their conferences, but they're really just like, it's like the NFC East, the NFC West, the NFC North,
Yeah, I mean they're all under one umbrella. They're all gonna share like equal revenue, and it'll be like new names for the divisions in a way. But
Yeah. And then that's the way you would do it. And that would actually fix like the problem with college football is the same problem that the NFL was going to have in about like the I think like the 1950s, but the NFL got smart and they realized like it was like only a couple of teams were making all the money for the NFL and they were just taking all the revenue. But then they were like these other teams are just going to fold. So we have to share the revenue to make sure the league lasts the test of time. And in college football,
it
the the
don't seem
bigger
like
the,
they're
the
that
bigger teams
smart.
are not willing to do it.
They
They're
don't
just
give a
like,
fuck.
we're gonna take all the money. We're just gonna take all the money.
And that's just like the mindset these days. Like people don't have the foresight to look ahead and see how they can make more money or make it better, make a better product,
More money long term.
more desire. Because they don't give a fuck. They're all old. They're gonna be dead before it even develops into something better. They're just milking it for as much as they humanly possibly can. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. College
Yeah.
football is falling apart. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean, the only thing I like about college football right now is what happens on the field, pretty much. That's
that's
the
it.
only
That's
thing
it.
to really get excited about. And
The
uh,
rivalries don't fucking matter anymore because all the players that come to the school don't give a shit about that school. They just want to make money. They don't care about the program. You might have a couple people on the team, yeah, maybe, but most of the people from 4 or 5 years ago that were pre NIL are already moving out of the program or maybe like on their last year, but to that are still ingrained in that mindset of like, oh, I fucking hate this team.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
it's unfortunate. And honestly, I think a big part of that is like the conferences got too big. It's stupid. Like
It's
the
they're
the the
very
travel
big.
the travel doesn't make sense. They're too like the top best teams don't always play each other. Like it's a gauntlet to get out of some conferences. Like we need to go back to having regional conferences. Why did we let it get to this point? And
Money.
we're only 2 years into the SEC and the Big Ten like having major expansion, and it's already is going
Well,
in
I
the
mean,
wrong direction. The whole
it was
sport
an
is.
ACC too. It's three. We just
Yeah,
dissolved the Pac-12. Like,
ACC has like
well,
18
four. Yeah, all
teams.
four. There's the four teams. There are four conferences. They all absolved basically the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's like four, like 16 to 18
It's
team
just too
leagues.
fucking many. It's way too many. You could go 2 years without probably playing one of these teams in your conference.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I guess we could kind of look at the playoff matchups themselves. We've kind of bitched about the
Yeah,
structure enough.
I guess we'll roll into last week, kind of see what happened and what ended up making the bracket. I guess we can maybe prematurely, I guess, in previous formats, kind of go over our predictions from last week. Um, so we had Tulane beat North Texas, which got them a playoff spot by winning their division. They're one of the group of five teams. A little upset about that one. I really wanted North Texas to make it, but Maker had 3 interceptions, which probably
Yeah,
cost him the game.
Eric
I mean,
Morris, right after that, he got on the plane. He's at Oklahoma State.
he's not going to coach him in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, Eric Morris at North Texas.
Oh wait, yeah, because Tulane's head coach also
Summerall
has
is
it.
at
Yeah,
North Texas.
yeah,
He's going to
Florida,
Florida, but
right?
he's gonna keep coaching in the playoffs.
Good for
But
him.
Oklahoma State, they got their guy. He's there. He said he's open for Bedlam to come back.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited for that. So we're gonna see how he does. But
I fuck with
Tulane,
that heavy.
they're headed to the playoffs, and who do they play in the first round? I can't remember,
We'll
but
roll to it. James Madison
also in
knocking
the
Troy
playoff.
down. We've seen that one coming. I think everybody
Their coach is
assumed.
headed to UCLA, so it's same scenario as
Same
Tulane.
scenario. So then we had the Big Ten championship. Indiana knocking Ohio State off finally by 3 points. I don't think a lot of people seen this coming. I know we talked about this one last episode. I was like, my brain was picking Ohio State, but my heart wanted Indiana to win. I'm glad they was able to pull it off. SEC championship, absolute
Georgia.
blowout. Well, it wasn't even a good game to watch. It was just
I
it
mean, you
wasn't
you
great.
get what you like expect from Georgia,
Yeah, they
physicality. You
show
get
up.
You get speed, you get recklessness, you get disregard for human life.
They're just they're
Um,
killing each other.
usually what they do in a car, but like on the field this time,
Hell
I
yeah.
mean,
Hell
it
yeah.
was good. They held Alabama to -3 yards. So
Rushing.
what a perform. Yeah, -3 yards
And I mean, it
rushing,
was
not
only
total.
14-0 at half, so it's like that's not an insurmountable. It wasn't, they weren't killing them at halftime. 14 points is absolutely, doable.
Yeah.
But pretty consistent, 7 points every quarter, got on 28, Yeah, good for Georgia. It's kind of the team that we thought they were. They found a way to win. Bounced back after the previous loss to Alabama. Uh, BYU losing to Texas Tech. I think most people knew this was probably going to happen, but I don't think they thought it was going to be this bad. It really kind of just snowballed after the first quarter.
BYU, like they started the game pretty good. Like they got a good stop.
Yeah.
They had a very long drive in the first quarter. I was like, dang, they're really making a push. And then it was
Their,
just all Texas Tech after that.
their quarterback did get rolled up a little bit. I think he had an ankle issue. I don't really know how much that affected him, but he also made some bad reads. Threw a couple picks, which really kind of just flipped the momentum of the game, allowed Texas Tech to just capitalize. Texas Tech defense, they look nice. They look real good. Texas Tech as a whole looks pretty solid. I'm excited to actually watch them play in the playoff against some tougher competition and see actually if they can compete. I don't
Defense
know.
is
I don't
looking
know if
good.
I don't know if they will win their game, but I think they can absolutely show up, um, and show out. We'll see. And then the ACC championship game. It's like Virginia's fifth overtime game, I think, maybe sixth. Um, Virginia, they've been living on the razor's edge of disaster for a while, and they had to do it again, for old time's sake. This game, I don't want to say I'm surprised by this, but I'm not at the same time. I kind of thought Virginia was gonna win, but um was it Mensa's Duke quarterback?
Yeah, from Tulane last
He
year.
he's really good. If I'm him, I'm hitting the portal. I'm hitting a bigger team. He's been carrying this team all year.
It is a
Uh,
little ironic that Manny Diaz was, Miami's coach for a couple of years and then he wins the
Fucks
ACC,
over the
but
ACC.
yet Miami still gets in.
And Miami's
Just a
never won the
weird.
ACC. That's so funny to me. He wins the ACC, but Miami still has no conference championship wins.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
if we're tallying last week, I won by a score of 8-2. I think I brought it up to six and
God
eight.
damn.
Um,
It was
you
not bad.
yeah,
I think I went a little reckless again.
you called Texas Tech and you called there was like a smaller one. I think it was the I think is this like just the top 25?
Yeah.
There was a Miami of Ohio versus somebody. You got that one right. I think it was Western Michigan.
Hell
You
yeah.
correctly got that one. But I'm catching up, so like we're getting
I mean,
closer.
I think if you won, you said you're 6-8.
Yeah, I'm 6-8.
Well,
So,
if you win the next two rounds, we'd go to the semifinals to take the
but
lead.
the problem with the semifinals is it's only 2 games. We'd have to like
Yeah.
I
Maybe
feel like
we'll
we'll have to like do like a NFL tiebreaker. So I don't know.
maybe
We'll have to
like a
come up with something.
score prediction. I guess is what you're
Or I guess what we could do is we could combine like the first round games with like the first wave of bowl games, and then combine like the second round with like the second wave of bowl
yeah,
games.
yeah, we could do something like that.
And then
Okay.
if we're tied, then we can I guess figure something out. But that would be the way to work it out.
So
But I
that
mean
that
these matchups are
that rolls us
looking.
into the matchups. I guess we could do predictions for the first round right now while we're reviewing the bracket. So we got 12 seed James Madison rolling into Oregon, playing at Oregon, 6:30 p.m. Oregon's 21-point favorite. Jesus Christ. I don't see James Madison. 21's a lot of points. Oregon ain't really been blowing all the teams out that they've been playing. Um, James Madison might be able to cover, but I don't see James Madison winning this game.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's almost like no chance James Madison wins this game on top of not only the fact that they got to go to Oregon,
Yeah.
also like their coach is also probably doing a little multitasking with UCLA right now. Like he may or may not be. I just feel like his mind
He's
just
gotta be.
can't be all the way locked into James
Yeah.
Madison if you're going to UCLA next year.
So I guess
I
he.
don't like the I don't know. It just doesn't feel right for TNT to be broadcasting a college football game. They did it last year and it was just a little weird, but they're doing it again. I can't remember whose crew they borrowed. I want to say they borrowed like the Fox people or the CBS people
I could see it. Yeah.
and did that. It's gonna be a weird game. I think Oregon's probably
I guess
gonna
our only
win.
pick on this is if we think James Madison's gonna cover or not. Because I mean, there's no way they win. I mean, if they do, good for them. That'd be awesome.
I
But
don't even think they cover, honestly. I don't even know if this is worth picking. Like quite like frankly, like
we might circle back. We might circle back. And then we got Alabama going on the road to OU like last year. OU went on the road to Alabama and to Tuscaloosa and got the dub. Now we're switching tables and they're going on the road. I don't see how Alabama beats OU, especially because they lost last year. OU's not losing anything. There's no difference in the teams. If anything, Alabama's rolling in this probably a little more banged up than they were that previous game. I don't know if Alabama's running because I against Georgia they had their top two running backs out.
yeah. So I
I
mean, do
don't know if they're
they
going to
get
be healthy in
healthy?
this game, but even if they are, you can't run on this defense. So
Yeah, I mean, even
good fucking luck. Even
Ahmed
if you have,
Hardy couldn't even run on the defense, so
I
it's gonna
can't
be
see it.
difficult.
So
But I mean,
I would take OU by, yeah, by at least 1.5. I'd take it by 7,
I don't know. It's a strong possibility.
but it is a playoff game.
Oklahoma could lose this game just
Good.
because Mateer has been very reckless with the ball for the past couple of weeks that he's played. I could see him making some turnovers. Really, like the offense has to be better than they were in that first matchup. They've got to at least
I'll
find a couple of scores on their own.
I'll just say I don't give a fuck about the offense. That defense showing up to play regardless. It
Oh yeah,
don't.
the defense
The
is gonna be great.
offense be damned. You don't need the fucking offense. Just let the defense play offense. I'm rolling with the OU defense till the wheels fall off. Ever since this the first matchup between them, like Alabama ain't been the same. I was talking to Nick. Ty Simpson was out there seeing ghosts, seeing OU players out there when they was playing Georgia. I don't know. He has like a different like look in his eye. He don't feel like that Heisman contender we seen like 5 weeks ago. I think it was five before they played OU. It's
Yeah.
they feel different. They feel slightly broken. I think you guys broke them.
Yeah, he doesn't have that same confidence that he had earlier in the season, but the running game really hasn't been there to help him for him to lean on, so he's been having to kind of do it all himself. I think it just really depends because those receivers, like I will say, like OU's biggest like weakness on defense is
Secondary.
good receivers. They can handle like a normal team's receivers pretty well, but once they get like a Ryan Williams, a Giovanni Bernard, that's when it starts becoming a little bit problematic. I think Oklahoma ultimately comes out with the win just because I think Venables is a better coach than DeBoer. I think he's got his number. I think he probably already knows what DeBoer is gonna do to like switch things up this time. I did see like I remember like during the first initial Alabama OU game, it was like Venables and DeBoer look like each other. No, they don't. Have you seen DeBoer's head? Like he's
God damn
bald.
it! I didn't want to do
Or
this.
DeBoer is bald. Oh, we're creating a bracket. That's pretty cool.
I meant to open this in a tab. I was just like, while you was talking.
Well, I mean, so far we're kind of on the same boat. Yeah, Ole Miss is probably gonna beat Tulane. Um, you're going through the whole thing. Shit.
That's what I got. Big Ten match rematch. Um, I, I,
Eh,
feel- I feel like that's possible. How do I get back? Sorry, I was just fucking around.
I don't know.
Okay. No, did I fuck it?
College football playoff up top.
Yeah.
There it
Okay.
is.
No. It's
Um,
yeah, I fucked it. It's this little fucking.
there's a CFP
There it is.
bracket thing right there. Um,
All right. Sorry.
so I mean, like
Um.
the way I'm looking at Tulane versus Ole Miss.
They
Um,
blew their ass out last game. It was like 20 plus points.
yeah, Ole Miss is gonna
But they don't have a
should
coach. I don't know if maybe that might bring the spread a little. They did drop it to 17 and a half. I think they beat them by at least 20 last time. Might be 25, something like
Ole
that.
Miss did like Lane Kiffin did let the staff members that are going with him join Ole Miss for the playoffs, so
It
they're
was
gonna have
30
the full
35 points.
staff.
They
They're
beat them
gonna
by
win.
35.
Ole Miss is gonna win. It's not really super
What were you saying
debatable.
about the coaching staff?
Like Lane Kiffin, like he had taken the whole offensive staff over to LSU, but he let them return to Ole Miss to coach during the playoffs. So he didn't. I think he
Good for him.
he was getting a lot of backlash. I think
Oh
that was
yeah.
his way of trying to smooth the waters a little bit,
I
make
mean
it a little less.
that's reasonable, I suppose. Like, I don't really just chop them off at the fucking knees on the way out. Like, I feel like that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, like, because
But
when
still, I
at first he was going to take the whole offensive staff, and that's when it was looking
that's
really,
fucked.
really crazy.
That's so
But
fucked.
he let him go back. So I mean, that's interesting. Tulane's had a weird week because the uh the LSU defense coordinator like took the head coaching job, but then he decided he's going to go back to LSU and coach defense. He kind of
Oh, he's like,
changed
oh, Lane Kiffin. I'm
changed his
staying.
mind. So Tulane just promoted their assistant coaches, their head coach next year, but
Yeah,
Summerall will be there. The first good
Tulane.
matchup we got is the second good matchup we got is Miami A&M.
Man, I think Miami can win this game. Texas A&M is not like if you look at their schedule and you look like the rankings of the SEC teams that they've played, they're all bottom half SEC teams other than Texas, which they lost to, and then they have a 1 point win against Notre Dame. Early in the season, week 3, which Miami also has an early week win or early season win against Notre Dame as well. Um, Also very close game. It might also be 1 more point. I think Notre Dame's losses are like 4 points total, which is kind of nuts. Almost same vibe as Arkansas with their every game being a loss, like by one score up until like the last couple weeks. But yeah, I mean they kind of got cooked by Texas. It didn't feel like it was a good game. They had an absolute miracle against South Carolina. They beat Missouri without Prbula. LSU's dog shit. Barely squeaked out a win against Arkansas. Florida's dog shit. Mississippi State's dog shit. Won by 6 against Auburn. Dog shit. They don't have any like quality wins. Like we don't like you almost don't even know if Texas A&M's good. Which I mean, ever we was all really high on them, but then like when you start like really diving deep into like how they've been playing and who they've played, like that South Carolina game really kind of I think opened a lot of people's eyes on like okay, maybe this team's not super great. Um, Marcel Reed kind of, I don't say he got exposed, but you put some pressure on him and he makes mistakes. He throws a lot of picks, makes crazy throws. I don't know if he's trying to just take on too much and make plays, but that's kind of how it feels. And then the mistakes kind of develop and they turn the ball over. The defense is solid. They got a really great defensive head coach in Elko. I think if the defense can come to play and they can get after Carson Beck and make him uncomfortable, they can win the game. But then Miami's defense is also pretty damn good too. They have an elite pass rusher that's probably going to go maybe top 5 in the draft, maybe number 2 or 3, depending on how the draft order shakes out with the Jets and the Raiders, and if they're going to take QBs, 1 and 2, something like that. With Bain sitting there, he's probably going to be number 3 or 4. Um, I don't know. I feel like Miami can actually get this done. They have a slight chip on their shoulder. They almost got left out of the playoffs. They didn't make the conference championship. Like I feel like they have everything to prove and like nothing to lose almost. Uh, Slightly might depend on how Carson Beck's playing. If he can connect with Tony and get some big chunk plays. If the defense can get some stops, force a turnover, like it's Miami can win this game. Texas A&M is not like unbeatable. They're not a stout super team like people
Yeah, I
like we
mean,
thought they were.
I think they're still um defensively, they're just a force. I think Carson Beck's gonna make mistakes. He's
They
not really
both
good
might.
in high pressure moments. I think if you compare like Miami's losses,
Yeah,
um,
they have way worse losses for sure.
even some of like A&M's, like okay, they got a comparable opponent. Miami beat Notre Dame a little bit more decisively than A&M kind of had to squeak it out.
Well,
But I mean, if
Miami
you
played them earlier,
yeah, that's
pretty
true. And
sure.
also one thing I want to note though is like Miami's losses aren't all that great. SMU, Louisville, they're okay, but like
Terrible.
like
And but and their wins are ass too.
some of the like bad teams that um A&M beat are like better than
Better than the teams Miami beat. Yeah,
SMU and
I
Louisville.
I I
You know what
agree
I'm
with that.
saying?
I
Like
agree with that.
is Auburn, like I know they had a bad record, but like are they really worse than Louisville? Like who do you think
No,
would win that game? Like Auburn
Yeah,
would probably
100%.
win that game.
Especially with the quarterback Auburn's rocking now. If Auburn would have rocked with whatever the fuck his name is, Ashton Daniels, I think his name is. If they had
Yeah,
started
yeah.
him from like day one, I think Auburn would be way better off record wise than what they are now. They'd be at least in a bowl game. I don't know if they'd be competing for the SEC, but like going forward they might. Jackson Arnold just hit the fucking transfer portal. They told his ass to kick rocks. I think
Yeah,
yesterday. I think
even Hugh
yesterday.
Freeze was like in an interview was like, yeah, we messed up on that.
Oh, 100%.
He didn't play as good as we thought. He was like, this isn't a shot at him, but like I think like he knows just as well as I know that this didn't go the
Like,
way
because if
we
you
wanted
watch
it to go.
if you watch the Iron Bowl, you know what you got. Like that kid was out there putting it all on the line for, God and country or whatever the fuck you want to call it. He was out there playing crazy. That dude was I don't want to throw the Cam Newton comparisons out there because he's not Cam Newton, but I felt like that's how he was playing. He was out there just throwing it all on the line. He was making some decent throws. Receivers can't catch for shit, and it felt like they were just trying to give the game away at every opportunity. Like, here, take this ball. Let me just fumble it real quick. Here, take this, please. We don't want to win. And he had a pretty good game. So I think yeah, if they'd have played him way early in the season, they'd be way better off. And yeah, Auburn would be a better resume opponent. Because their defense is
Yeah.
outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, looking at A&M, I think they're going to beat Miami by at least two scores. I actually don't really have much faith in Miami.
I don't think so.
I think Carson Beck probably throws like four interceptions.
I hope so. I don't want Miami to
I
win.
really don't think Miami's that good. Like I said, I
I
don't
don't
have a
think
problem
Texas
with them
A&M's
making
that
it,
good.
but I think A&M's
Oh,
still
okay.
pretty good.
I'll say this. I don't think they're both that good. Whoever wins this game's losing to Ohio State regardless. It doesn't matter who wins this game.
Maybe
And
we'll
shit,
see.
maybe Ohio State's not that good.
We don't.
Maybe Indiana's not that good. But who fucking knows?
Well, Indiana's got
We'll
a
see when
little
they
bit
play.
more.
Who the fuck wins out of you in Alabama? But I mean, I think it's gonna be Oklahoma, Indiana, and then I don't know, man. It's a weird it's a weird playoff. Okay, so let's maybe do some hypotheticals. So okay, we've seen Indiana beat Oregon. Do you think Indiana is better than Texas Tech?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do. Okay, so we know Oregon's making it. It's be Oregon, Texas Tech. Do you think Oregon beats Texas Tech?
I think Texas Tech beats Oregon.
Okay, I think they do too. I kind of feel it.
It's a
It,
little
it
bit
could.
close,
Yeah,
you
it is
know.
it's very close. But I think Texas Tech could pull it off. Texas Tech is a very well-rounded team. They got some hitters on defense, and they got a solid quarterback that can air the ball out. They have a weird offense. They kind of move the ball around a lot. They got really good running backs. I like Texas Tech. Very well-rounded team.
Also worth
Oregon
noting, Oregon's offensive coordinator took a job somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but
cooked.
it was somewhere else. So like he's a little distracted.
Okay, so we're just gonna say we move Texas Tech straight into the semifinals. I think we're kind of in a vibe in there. I think you guys beat Alabama, so OU Indiana battle.
I think
Obviously,
Indiana probably squeaks it out, but I mean, like you got to look. It's going to be a close matchup because if you look at
there's
the games Indiana struggled, Iowa, Penn State,
yep,
Ohio State, strong defenses in all
defense.
three of those.
So I think when you take these two teams and you kind of put them up against each other, you're like, OU obviously has the better defense, but Indiana right now maybe has the better offense. They're a little more consistent.
They have a way better offense.
OU can get to that point. I think they can. I think they have the
Yeah,
potential.
absolutely.
Depends on how Mateer's playing in that day. So You got a better defense versus maybe a better offense. So it could come down to like a turnover in a particular position of the field, short field, a pick six, a extra field goal, kind of like in the Ohio State game. It could be close like that. So
Yeah, it's gonna like I think like from like an Oklahoma perspective, it's
could
gonna
be a
be
toss up.
similar to that like first Bama matchup where
Yep.
it's gonna be back and forth. I think Indiana's definitely gonna get a few big plays on the
Yep.
secondary. They've got some pretty decent receivers out there.
They have a very well-rounded
Um,
team. Very
Oklahoma
well coached.
could very easily win that game, but
Yeah.
I would like
I
I was
think
telling Jaden in text the other day like Indiana just kind of feels like a team of destiny,
they
and
do. They do.
it feels really hard to beat them. So I think Indiana
They
like
have a
right
lot of
now as an Oklahoma fan, unfortunately, I think we would lose here, but it's a very strong possibility we could win. And then
they
like if
have
let's say we play really good against Oklahoma, my predict or against Alabama, my prediction might change if we're offensively just on fire that game.
yeah. I think they have a lot of momentum going into this game or into this next matchup against whoever they play. You know, they just beat the number one team in the country. Like they feel like they can beat anybody. That's a crazy like team to go play. Like they feel like they can't lose. So I think if OU wins this game and Texas Tech's next matchup, I think you guys can beat Texas Tech. I think there's a lot of
Oh
history
yeah.
there. It's slight rivalry. They've been talking shit. You guys have a crazy defense, something that they probably won't see up until this game, and they're going to be fucking frazzled. And the offense just has to, find a score or two to maybe to win it. If it's Indiana, so like yeah, if OU's playing Texas Tech, I think OU wins. If it's Indiana Texas Tech, I feel like it might be slightly different. They're two like it's a weird matchup.
It'd be a lot more like
I'm a shootouty.
closer to a shootout. Yeah.
I still think Indiana could win, but Texas Tech they could squeak it out. They have an opportunity there. But so I feel like Texas Tech's hoping Indiana makes it. The OU, I don't think they have a chance.
So I mean, the way I look at it, like this is just my opinion on the Texas Tech thing. I think if Oklahoma plays Texas Tech, Oklahoma squeaks it out just because they're just a defensive team. Honestly, though, I think if Indiana plays Texas Tech, I think Indiana beats the shit out of Texas Tech.
Interesting. We're
Honestly,
like
because
opposite sides of the coin there on that matchup. If we're in agreement that Texas Tech's making that spot,
I
so
think basically what I'm saying is I think Texas Tech's losing that game unless it's Alabama. Then maybe they have a chance. Like if Alabama makes it all the way up there, then I'd say Texas Tech has a pretty good shot.
maybe Texas Tech's hoping for Alabama to squeak all the way up there. Okay, so next side. So I think we're flip. We're either Texas Tech and OU Indiana in this game. One of the two. Obviously we probably in agreement. Ole Miss wins. Ole Miss Georgia rematch. Ole Miss without a coach going against Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart. I can't see it. I can't see it getting done. I think Georgia wins probably decisively,
Decisively, I agree
especially
with that
coming
as
off that
well.
win against Alabama. They feel like they can't lose. Um, so we're slotting Georgia into the semifinals, and then we're in disagreement on this game. We both think the other two teams are going to win. Both of these teams up against Ohio State, though. Do you think either of these two teams could beat Ohio State?
Honestly, probably not.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so.
just like based off what we've seen so far, I think A&M to me, like I said, I think
Probably
A&M
has the better
wins.
chance.
I think A&M has the better chance because they have the better defense, in my opinion, over Miami. Even though Miami's defense is pretty good,
I
it's
think
not bad.
I think
Um,
A&M Ohio State would be the probably more fun matchup to watch. You got Marcel Reed's just fun to watch,
you
and
got
then
Concepcion, you got
yeah,
Carver.
it's a fun team. It's a fun team.
Then you got, obviously you got Jeremiah Smith and Julian
Yeah,
Sayin on the other side. Plus, that stacked defense with Caleb Downs as the
yeah.
leader of that defense. I think Ohio
Ohio
State would
State.
squeak out like in a similar fashion. Like it'd be like a similar score to the Indiana game, but like this time Ohio State
So
would come out on top.
I think we're both probably picking leaning Ohio State's way. So Ohio State, Georgia going up against either a mix of Texas Tech, Indiana, or OU. Who do you think would win out of Georgia, Ohio State?
I think Georgia wins decisively in this game. Um,
Okay.
I think because like
I think they
I had an
I don't
issue
know.
I had an issue with Ohio State being ranked 2 and Georgia being ranked 3 because, in my opinion, Georgia has, they have wins over Ole Miss, they have a win over Alabama, they have
Way
wins.
better wins than fucking what Ohio State's got.
I'm like forgetting like a couple of wins. Like I think they have like another ranked win, if not two other ranked wins.
Let's go take a peek under the hood.
Texas.
Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia Tech, Alabama. One loss against Alabama. Like that blows out Ohio State's schedule out the fucking water.
Ohio State has Michigan and
Penn State.
in Texas. They
No,
have, they have they
I
have
guess.
Texas. So
Well, they both have a win against Texas, right?
and Georgia's was a
Yes.
lot.
They killed them.
Georgia's was a lot more decisive at a time where Texas was playing a lot better than they were
Yes.
when Ohio State played them. Like it was like Georgia played the better Texas team,
They beat them by
and
25.
they beat them
Ohio State won by
by a
7.
wide margin. So
So yeah, I agree with that. Georgia should be 2. Well, if that was the case, like Ohio State, Georgia's got the best spot, man. That's what I'm saying. 3 is the best spot. Indiana is getting fucking hoed. You're gonna have to play the arguably the best defense in college football, probably in your first round matchup. Jesus Christ, getting
yeah,
sauced.
or you're getting in a maybe a shootout situation with Alabama if Alabama squeaks through.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fucking
Yeah,
seating is dog shit. It's terrible. This is terrible. It should Indiana should not be playing OU and Alabama. They should be playing the winner of fucking Tulane and Ole Miss. Like that's the best case scenario. Like or maybe Oregon James Madison winner. You maybe run it back against Oregon, which I think they still win again. But this is ideally the team that you want, one of these two, because like that's why I like the idea. If you get first seed, you get to pick who you want, and then it all shuffles down from there or something like that.
I
I
mean
think that's
the way we're looking at this bracket right now, like if you're looking at all these teams, Georgia is basically guaranteed to go to the semifinals. Like if you're thinking
yep,
about the circumstances, like if Tulane somehow beats Ole Miss, Georgia's
yes,
easily winning that game.
easy
If Ole
dub.
Miss wins, they don't have Lane Kiffin this time, and it's a different situation than it was last time when
Yeah,
Georgia barely squeaked it out. I think Georgia probably wins a little bit more decisively this time. They have the easiest path of anybody. Granted, they will have to play Ohio State in the semifinals more than likely, which won't be easy.
now I
Um,
realistically, I think it's gonna be Indiana against Georgia or Indiana against Ohio State for a Big Ten rematch, and ultimately, like I think if they catch Ohio State, they win. I think if they catch Georgia, they lose. I feel like Georgia's probably gonna win the whole thing.
yeah,
They've been
yeah.
a sneaky flying under the radar a little bit team. Not a lot of people really been like talking about them a whole lot. They probably feel slightly disrespected.
They've got a dog at quarterback in Stockton.
Haynes
They
King
have
2.0.
Frazier's a great running back. The other running back was it McCray? Is that his name? He's a really good running back as well. Receiving core is not bad.
It's gonna be Georgia.
Defense is improved significantly through the course of the season. At first, the defense was lacking a little bit. Now they're just like in full force. They're hard to run the ball on. They're
Yo,
forcing turnovers. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. Kirby
it's
Smart spinning
nasty.
his bag. They've got so much swag right now. I actually like this Georgia team. I think they're like one of the more likable Georgia teams we've maybe ever had. They're they're just like the swag they have right now is really great. And I mean, as the years go on, I just like respect
Tired of them.
Kirby more and more.
Oh
I
no, I
kind of
definitely
same thing
respect them.
with Ryan Day. Like Ryan Day has definitely earned my respect over the course of time.
And
Um,
he finally got it done, like a lot of people were talking shit on him, like he couldn't win the big game, he couldn't get it done. He finally did. So like, yeah, hats off to Ryan Day. He finally showed he can coach and build a team. Maybe
I,
NIL had something to do with it. Sure, whatever. But you work with what you got, and he got it done last year. Um,
you're looking at like some of the best coaches in college football, I think, for this playoff run.
for real, like
You got
absolutely, Dan
Dan
Lanning.
Lanning,
Texas Tech's coach is
Venables.
on the up. Like he's granted they have a huge ass NIL fucking pool of money. Like, but like that's what I'm saying. Like you work with what you got, and he's led his team to a first round bye in the playoffs, and their first year and that kind of like really putting the money to the roster, and this
Hey,
is what they've
they're
built.
getting their money's worth out of him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He's
If I'm a
brought
Texas
a
Tech fan, I'm happy with what we've got so far. Like you got nothing to lose, you know. You just won the Big 12 championship for the first time. Uh, what like what can you not be happy about? That's like, yeah, okay. If you lose, like you're kind of in the same boat as Indiana from last year, you know. Like, yeah, you finally started putting it together, and you maybe fell a little short. Okay, you bounce back next year. Look at where Indiana's at this year. You know, you move forward, you make some progress, you make some adjustments, you keep that core of your team, and you press. Venables turning OU around, making the playoffs, rebuilding up the team, coaching the defense, making the offense a little bit better. You don't got to rely on offense as much because the defense is a bunch of dogs, and you know you're that dude on the defense, and you live and die by what you've built, and you live and die by what you know, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alabama's on a little bit of a slide. I don't think DeBoer really knows what the fuck they're doing.
I feel
I
like
don't
DeBoer is
know.
a little bit of a question mark in terms of his coaching ability. He did a great job at Washington
He might
before
be a
coming
little bit
over to
out of his depth.
Alabama.
Might
And
be.
it comes with a lot of pressure being the head coach of Alabama.
Oh, too much.
The
Too
fan
much.
base, you know, like if you lose one game, they're calling for your head. It's just it's a
It's a new era. You can't
and it's
you
probably getting in his head a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't look confident. He doesn't look like the
No.
same confident coach he was at Washington,
Nope.
at Alabama. But I will say, like Venables didn't look confident really until this year as a head coach. He had never been a head coach before. He was getting a lot of criticism, and I think
Absolutely.
part of the reason that was because Venables wasn't coaching the defense until this year. Now he's back doing what he's good at, and
Absolutely.
it's brought his confidence back. So I think DeBoer's got to go back to finding whatever he was doing at Washington and just going back to it. Like, don't
And
overcomplicate it. Like,
and
you're
DeBoer
fine.
could have just been a product of his environment, you know, it's easier conference. You're not playing as great of competition. Yeah, granted, Alabama's not had a bad year. They've won some big games. They beat Georgia. You know, I don't think DeBoer's a bad coach. I don't think he can't get it done. Maybe he just got some holes in the wrong places. He maybe made some bad calls at the wrong moments. You know, that the week one loss is really kind of doing him in a little bit in seeding wise. Um, so I think you give him another year or two, kind of see what he can do, and just press forward. And then you know you got Signetti at Indiana, year two. I feel like he's kind of an outlier in this whole
He's
bunch. He's just that dude. Like
if you look at him,
he is that dude. He's got a proven track record of being him. He is him. You can't doubt the man. He's got a team of no 4 stars, no 5 stars on this team. They've the number one seed. You beat Ohio State. Um, I don't know what you could say. You got a transfer quarterback from fucking Cal Berkeley. Granted, Mendoza was kind of a menace at Cal last year. I feel like I was talking about him last year too.
yeah, because
He was a dog at Cal. You know,
he was doing some stuff
he
at
almost beat
Cal.
Miami. They should have beat Miami. Cal shit
It's just
last year. It was crazy. The writing was kind of on the wall for Mendoza last year, and Signetti kind of I feel like he kind of identified what he needed, filled some holes, and after last year when they lost to Ohio State. You know, he was like, there's a lot of a lot of hurt dudes in there in that locker room, but you know, like we got a good core and like we're gonna move forward. And, you know,
yeah.
he's got that good core built. He knows the identity of this team and like what he wants, and he flashed out the rest of the team with what he needed, and he moved forward. And he's a good coach, and these kids probably would die for that dude. They would do anything for him, and he's just that. He's got the aura. He knows what needs to be said at the right time. He's got the good one-liners in the interviews. He's cool as the other side of the pillow. Um, so he's a slight outlier in this coaching group. Tulane's coach gone, Ole Miss coach gone. Kirby Smart's kind of like like one of the old guard of the pre NIL still hanging around.
Yeah, and he's
We'll
just adjusted well to it as well.
we'll see in maybe 2 3 years if maybe because I mean he still has that core foundation kind of built that way we was talking about with Dabo Sweeney. You know he had a good foundation. He didn't really need to hit the portal because he had people, kind of in the tube lined up to fill holes. We'll see how Georgia kind of, keeps integrating with the NIL.
I think
Are they going to keep up, or like is Kirby Smart?
he's fine.
Is he good enough? Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
I
so
feel like
too.
I feel like we're just so far deep into it at this
I
point
think
that like
so
if
too.
he was gonna fall off, he'd be looking like Dabo is right now. But he's adjusted well, and quite honestly, I think
Oh,
Georgia he doesn't handle like certain schools like the coaches it has more responsibility in terms of that stuff, but like these bigger schools, they got
I think
other
Georgia's
people taking care of it.
I think Georgia's pipeline and foundation was more like pre-built coming into NIL than Clemson was. They had a better foundation and pipeline of players, ready to roll in on the off chance they maybe miss on an NIL player or miss on a transfer. And they're also not having to take in as many transfers to fill those holes. Like so they're set up well rolling into this. Like I'm curious to see if they can keep maintaining it.
I mean, you gotta kind of like you gotta kind of look at it like
And I think they can. I
well,
definitely
let's
think they
let's
can.
let's look at the teams that are kind of staying up there and haven't fallen off. Ohio State, you know what they're doing pre-NIL? They're paying players. Georgia, probably paying players.
Yes.
Alabama, paying players. So these teams have been playing players under the table. That's why they're adjusting so well because they've been doing it. They've been doing
Yeah.
it this entire
Oh, and they
time.
also have a massive NIL budget just to begin with. So it's like, oh, the curtain's ripped off. Oh, yeah, well, we're still paying the exact same amount we was paying before. Maybe, oh, we have more to spend. Oh, sick. Let's spend 10 more million dollars.
Yeah, it's basically, and I mean honestly, I think well, if Kirby gets a national championship this year, he's gonna like depending on how like it just depends on what he wants to do. Like, does he want to go to the NFL or does he want to keep like
I hope
chasing
he,
after say
I
maybe he
hope he
wants to keep
leaves.
out chasing after Saban
And
because
he
he's the
he
only guy that
absolutely
could.
can. I feel like he has enough like years left on the coaching life to like make a run at it.
When he's probably like mid 50s, mid to late 50s.
I
He's
mean, I don't think he's too far behind Saban, but I think he's probably got like he's
he's
got a
got
good like
probably at
five,
least
10 years
15 years. I feel like
left
he's got 15 years maybe. How old is Kirby
max.
Smart? I'm about to look it up. For some reason, I think he's a little bit
Compare him
younger.
to Nick Saban.
Nick
I feel like they're
Saban's
not.
72, I think.
Jesus Christ!
So Kirby Smart is he's 49. Holy
Oh my
shit.
God!
He's got like 20 years left. Um yeah, he,
If
he could easily pass Saban if he keeps it up.
yeah, if he wants to.
Or if he I think he should try the NFL because why not? Like,
I agree. I hope he does. Please just abandon Georgia high and dry. Leave him to the cesspool of
but
college football.
that's the problem though, is because if he leaves Georgia, somebody else is going to take that job. Then if he comes back to college, he got to find somewhere else to coach, and he's Georgia's his alma mater, so he's probably not leaving Georgia. I
Now
don't,
for
I don't, I
he
don't see
might get
it.
like if he gets this one, he might want to go for like two more.
He might
Maybe
try the NFL though. He
I don't
might just
know.
say
Depends.
say screw it. Ryan Day, I definitely think is going to get that itch. He just doesn't seem like he's going to stay in college this whole time.
Take the
It doesn't
hardball
make
route.
sense. It's just like it's so easy to win at Ohio State. I feel like he's just going to get
They
bored
don't fucking
after.
play nobody, dog. Not a. They play one good team a year. It seems like it's fucking criminal. Uh, yeah, and then let's see, we got fucking Elko at A&M.
Cristobal at Miami.
Elko's
Um,
building he building something, a little mini empire in Texas. I fuck with it. I like what he's doing.
The
He's
huge NIL budget. He's taken advantage of it
yeah,
so far.
they're on
Losing
the up.
Colin Klein as their offensive coordinator though is that's
A
a
little tough.
big
A
hurt.
little tough. It's
He's
that's a
going to his
massive
alma
pickup for
mater.
K-State though. That's massive.
You get your best quarterback in your school's history as your head
K-State has
coach.
been on the fucking cusp of the Big 12 like every year coming into the season. You're like, oh, it's K-State's fucking it's K-State's to lose. K-State's to lose. It's been like the last 3 years since OU's left. And they ain't done shit. Like I think I've been talking about K-State every year. I'm like, everything I'm hearing on I turn on that goddamn radio, it's like K-State, K-State, K-State. Oh, we got this, we got this. Defense, we got this. Da 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 da. It's all I hear on the radio. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, start looking into it a little more. I'm like, all right, yeah, K State, they got something to work with. They got a good team. You got Avery Johnson still. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. this next year if he's even coming back, or I don't even know what grade he's in. But
I mean,
Avery Johnson's the
he's
second coming of
still
Jesus
he's
Christ
still
for K
available.
State.
I think he maybe he enters the portal, maybe he comes back.
Um,
Well, maybe with Colin Klein coming in, he's probably
but
going to stay another year.
yeah, so K State with Colin Klein is going like up. It should go up another level, and K State should be kind of inclined to maybe make a run
Well,
to.
they should maybe, kind of slide in that same area where Texas Tech is right now,
I
like
agree.
theoretically.
I don't know what their NIL budget is. Maybe with the a better proven coach coming in, that's had some success in some other places. Maybe they're maybe willing to open up the checkbook a little bit. Flesh out the defense. Like look at Texas Tech. Why can't we do what they're doing? I don't see why not. Avery Johnson's not a bad quarterback. He's pretty talented. He's maybe a little raw. I think he's definitely a little raw. I think I don't know if he can get it done, but I think they can make a run for the Big 12 with him if they can kind of shore up maybe the defense.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what Colin Klein's mindset is going into this head coaching job at K-State, because some coaches, they get to their alma mater, they stay there for 15, 20 years, but other coaches, they just use their alma mater as a stepping stone just to get a better job. And I think, after a couple good years
Colin
at
Klein seems like the dude
K-State,
he would bounce. But I mean, K State
he left once.
if he can win them a Big 12 championship and then he bounces, I don't think you'd be too mad about that. Like okay, like he got us like kind of what we've been missing. Like
You know,
wait, wait.
he has a good year, a good couple years, and then you see like DeBoer fall off at Bama. He gets fired.
Ooh, ooh.
You got Colin Klein available. Like maybe
Miami
he's
gonna
the
come
guy.
available soon.
Miami
Oh,
could. I
100%.
mean,
Ain't no damn way.
we could see what happens with Miami. That was a weird move, Cristobal going from Oregon to Miami, because like I almost feel like Oregon's like the better program.
That was
Um,
super big downgrade. And look at him now. Look at him
but
now.
I think Miami isn't Miami his alma mater. I think it was
I think
something like
so.
that, or they
And
just offered him an
and
insane amount
he's
of money.
he's not like he's Dominican or something like that. Like he speaks Spanish. He's like Puerto Rican,
He's
Dominican.
kind of
He's part
well,
of the he's like cultured in, you know what I mean? I don't really know what the phrase to say it.
yeah. I mean that's basically what it like. He's his
That's like his vibe. Like
it's a better culture fit for
it's better
him to
fit,
live in
which is
Miami.
cool. I fuck with it.
Which
Good
I
for
mean,
you.
because I mean, when you're in Oregon, you're almost in like Canadian culture. Like you're getting pretty close to it. Like
No,
it's
and
that northern part
Oregon's
of the
like really
country.
like kind of the Hawaiian Islander culture too. They have a lot of like Pacific Islander players. Like
True, true.
it's like a almost like the other
It's
side of the
also
ocean. Like
it's a
it's
completely different climate. It rains a lot there. Miami, it's sunny every day of the
it rains a
year.
lot in Miami too.
Well, it rains, but it's also warm though.
Yeah.
It's not cold. Like the winters in Oregon are pretty harsh, probably, I would assume. Maybe
I don't
not. I
know.
don't know. I've never been
I
to
don't know. I
Oregon.
don't know a dig about Oregon.
But I mean, it's pretty north. You would assume
We
it'd
don't
be
know.
pretty
We don't
pretty
know shit
cold.
on this show. We're just talking. I feel
It'd
like that's
be
all I've been doing is talk. I'm just talking.
we really nobody's gonna watch this whole episode.
Yeah,
Nobody's
we're
gonna.
talking shit.
We're so deep in like we
I
definitely should
guess
have split it up, but fuck it. We're this deep in.
I guess we could roll into team talk. I don't know. Is there
I
anything
don't
else?
really actually have anything to say for team talk, because I mean we kind of just
Um,
addressed it.
yeah, you guys
Um,
got a playoff spot. Any new developments? Any firings, hirings, transfers, early signing? How was your guys signing day?
Signing day, it was okay. We finished 15th in the signing day. We got a new future quarterback once again. Everybody's getting excited about. I'm not gonna do it because we
We
saw how
stole
that
y'all signing day quarter. Or we stole
how's
y'all's
that.
quarterback.
Actually, y'all took Jaden O'Neal, so we actually
Yeah.
fucked Jaden O'Neal over. So what happened was, Jaden O'Neal
Um,
was from like I can't remember where he was originally from, but Jaden O'Neal
he's
moved
from
to
Mustang.
Mustang. No, well he moved to Mustang, Oklahoma after he committed to OU to play high school there, and then we started going after the quarterback we just signed in the.
Okay. I think it's somewhat important to note. I think this is the first time in I think like 15 years the SEC has not had the number one signing day class.
USC have the number one class is huge for Lincoln Riley.
I think it's like 15 years. It's above 10. It's like 12, 15, something like that. It's a long damn time, and uh yeah, since 2008. So what is that? 13 years? Quick math. Jeez. 25 minus 8. Uh, 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 17.
It's been a long time.
For a long damn time. 17 straight seasons for this. I could have just looked right here. What the fuck am I doing? I can't read. Um, so yeah, I feel like that's super prominent. That's kind of nice to know. It's maybe important. I don't. We'll see how it translates for USC going forward. I mean, they could have a bad year next year, and maybe the signing class don't fucking matter because they're all freshmen, so maybe they don't even play. But
USC has been
this
having.
class 2, 3 years down the road is really gonna show some impact unless some of these dudes are absolute dogs and they're playing as freshmen. We'll see. Where's the rank? What the fuck is this? I don't give a shit about the Twitter fucking. What is that? Not my team. I'm no, where's the rankings? I just want the rankings, dude. I think we finished like 12 or 15 or something nasty.
Is this is not right because USC doesn't. Yeah, 2026. There we go.
Okay,
Um,
so we got USC at number one. Only actually, that's only pulling one 5 star. 21 4 stars is kind of nice. That's nuts.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
a
honestly,
lot.
like I don't really get that excited about
And
five
like
stars. They
yeah, the
don't really seem to pan out.
stars don't matter. Okay, our teams we're sitting at okay, we're at
Right, y'all
14.
right ahead of us. Yeah, by one
Beating
spot.
you by just a ranking of probably a player like value wise.
Well, it looks like y'all are those
What
three
is
stars right
this?
next to us.
Yeah.
So y'all got several more 3 stars than we got.
But I mean
Um,
those don't even equal what is that 1.5 something? 1.501?
yeah, you also have 32 commits to 24. I think we're
Yeah,
probably
that's a
saving
lot.
a lot for the
The next window.
in the transfer portal, just to get some guys to come in.
So in the
Um,
ACC, we are second behind Miami. In the state, second behind Miami.
ahead of
Uh,
Florida.
Ahead of Florida. That's nice to see. In the SEC, you guys are what? One, two, three, four, five, six, seventh in the
7.
conference. That's not great, but it really don't fucking matter because like you're really just looking for team fit, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
diamonds in the rough out there. So yeah, stars don't necessarily matter. Let's see, we got 2, 3, and 4 pulling 4, 5 stars. Texas has 3. Yeah, neither of our schools have any. Texas Tech has 2. Texas Tech last year had I think a top 5
They really didn't pull a lot
class.
of 4 and 5 stars, but
They they might not be
they're
they might
going
not
for
be
the transfer
losing.
portal too, though.
Yeah, they might
Well,
not be
that's
losing a
another
lot.
thing with Oklahoma. Like almost the entire Oklahoma defense could come back next year, with the exception of like R. Mason Thomas and Marvin Jones Jr. And like Robert Spears Jennings. But like most of OU's defense is coming back next year, so that's a big factor too. Um,
Let's see. Top transfer portal rankings, I guess. Let's see. I want to just
I feel like the best players probably haven't entered the portal yet. Like they're still waiting.
I think some of them like teams that probably aren't in the playoffs. It's like number one players. There's no 5 stars in the portal yet. Michigan State transfer. I imagine he just probably goes to Ohio State. Anybody from our school in here?
Texas got a guy leaving. That's interesting. Oh, it's the
Running back,
running back.
three
That's
star.
interesting.
Damn. So like the top, just the top four or 4 stars.
Yeah, a lot
Oh,
of
I know so far we have like our number one defensive end. He's a freshman. He hit the portal from last year, unfortunately. Yeah, okay. Nobody from our school so far in the top
nothing
50.
really notable is jumped out yet, but I think we're gonna see
It's
more to
still
come
early.
over
Yeah.
the next few weeks. They're still
What is
waiting.
this?
I
This shit out
don't know.
here.
Get that off the screen.
What is
Um,
this?
get it off the screen.
Fuck off. What is that?
That we are not associated with that.
What is
Um,
that?
we're
Uh,
with the United States of America. Um,
I'm not surprised. USC being number one is super surprising. Like, but Alabama,
Nothing else is really that surprising to me
no.
aside from USC being number one. Um, because I mean, like most of the and even USC, like they like Lincoln Riley's a good recruiter. He's recruited very well over the past
And this is the early
decade.
signing day. This ain't even like the final signing day.
Yeah, there's
So
another signing day in February, so that also will determine some
that'll
of
be
the rankings.
probably like the rest of the five stars. A lot of big recruits that might be just waiting on playoffs, seeing what teams kind of finish where might influence some of their decisions. But I mean, I'm actually happy with where we finished with the season we had. 14th with 5 wins is kind of nice. I mean, above us, you got LSU. They had a down year, but that's still a massive brand, especially with a better head coach coming in. Washington being top 12 is that's interesting.
That's
Uh,
another
but
thing
none
you
of
actually gotta keep an eye
but none
on,
of
though.
these none of
Like,
these other teams ahead of us are actually surprising. Like teams behind us are like slightly surprising with like OU, but maybe they're not really pushing for as
well,
many.
yeah, that's what I was getting at is like
And it's the early signing
some
period.
of these rankings are like you gotta think like for a team like Florida State, for example, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for a young player to get on
To
the field
start.
next year. Oklahoma, if you're on defense, you're probably not playing at all next year. Like you're
Unless
or
you're
you're
a
rotating in and out.
fucking absolute demon.
And kind of same thing with like LSU. They're going to have a lot of open spots next year. USC even that's probably why they're number one because they're going to have a lot of opportunities to get
Yep,
playing time. So
yep.
that's why you see some of these like Texas Tech, for example, like you said, probably bringing a lot of guys back. That's probably why they're not recruiting
Damn,
super
Indiana
well.
signing 4, 5, 7 4 stars.
Indiana doesn't
That's kind of a weird
even
out.
need them.
Iowa with 8. That's all defense. I guarantee that's all defense. No, nobody from an offensive player, unless you're an offensive lineman. That's probably maybe. Is this all offensive lineman? Cornerback. Quarterback. What the fuck? Why are you going to Iowa?
He's a 4 star, 12th best in the country.
That makes no sense. Good for them. Maybe this is the dude that they needed to absolutely turn that offense around. Tackle, defense, linebacker, or inside offensive lineman, defense, tight end. Makes sense. Yeah, all of it's defense and linemen and one quarterback. Checks out.
Is like am I tripping or is it like still the same let me look. Like I'm pretty sure it's the same Iowa coach, right? It's like Kirk
Yeah,
France or whatever.
I don't think they've transitioned anybody else.
Is he still the coach? Like I swear he's still
Let's
the
see.
coach.
Indiana's got
Yeah,
tight
sure
end,
as well.
defense. Offensive, like they just loading up on the defense, brother. Loading up. That's defensive line, linebacker, defensive line, tight end, secondary, tight end, defensive line, linebacker, safety. Loading up.
Indiana, I mean, and he honestly he could just get whoever, and they're gonna do well in the portal. Virginia Tech's interesting. They're climbing up, obviously, with the addition of
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Franklin. They hired back Brent Pry as their defensive coordinator, which
No,
that's
no
an
shit.
interesting
That's
story. So like
actually
head
that's
coach
cool.
coming back as the defensive coordinator, I like it.
I fuck with that. I'm actually cool to like. I'm glad they let that happen because I kind of like him as he seems like a good dude. So I'm kind of glad they didn't just throw him to the fucking wind and say get fucked.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's like something we've been seeing like Terry Smith at Penn State obviously was the players campaigning hard for him. Matt Campbell's keeping him on the staff, so
yeah, Arizona State's head coach is kind of on the hook to come take over. I guess we didn't really touch on that. I'm
wait,
pretty sure
what?
Arizona State's head coach.
It's Iowa State, Iowa
Iowa
State.
State. Yeah. See, I
Matt
get them
Matt
mixed up
Campbell. Yeah,
every
Matt
week.
Campbell.
Every week.
Yeah,
Arizona State, Iowa
he's
State.
he's officially been announced as the head coach. It's a little weird because his record is very similar to James Franklin's,
I think it's a
but
decent hire. I mean, he's kind of brought them
he built Iowa State up because they were garbage before he got there. They're like
yeah,
complete trash. They were like easily the worst team in the Big 12
he
for
brought them
many,
up.
many years, and he brought him up. So I have some faith in him. Bringing Terry Smith back, I think is a good way to keep the players there
Like
and invested.
yep.
Bring in whoever you can from Iowa State with you. That's going to be probably your first priority, and then because I think they have like the dead last recruiting class, so that's where they were. Because they didn't have a coach. Maybe they've climbed up since like he took the job, but I think they
Yeah, they're
still
not
might.
even the top 50
Yeah, they're probably
or
still dead
big,
last.
per signing day.
So he's really got to get to work to get some recruits over this next
Got to hit that
window.
transfer portal hard.
Yeah, and I mean it's not going to be hard
And
to
I
get
mean,
players to come to Penn
Virginia
State.
Tech's gonna steal a lot of the Penn State players. I mean, I'm sure a lot of those players are really
Going to
locked in
Virginia Tech,
with
a bunch
Franklin.
of them have gone to Virginia Tech.
I think they had 18 decommits like right afterwards.
It's
It was something. It was a lot. I was like, Jesus Christ,
yeah,
Penn
there
State's
was a
gonna
lot.
they're gonna struggle for a little while. I think they're gonna have to hit hard on the portal.
Yep, and Billy Napier got a James Madison
James,
job, so he's
hey
he's
man,
he's back.
that's a nice job. You know, they got a good foundation. I think he's not a terrible coach. Like
It'll be just a matter of time before he probably gets a second shot at a Power Five
I
if he or Power Four if he keeps it.
it's kind of the same with Norvell. Like they both came from a group of five school. Like they might just be group of five coaches, you know, or a bottom half like Power Four team. Maybe you kind of miss on some of these group of five coaches sometimes, and I felt maybe a lot of the time. It might not be the route. You know, maybe you picked the wrong one. Maybe they're just not a good fit for your school. Also, the culture that's ingrained in that school is maybe not a good fit for them. Like Florida's culture is kind of weird. Uh, it's hard to really turn it around. You know, it takes a certain type of person to really take a school and fucking completely transition it. Like it,
It and especially a bigger school like that, it does take like a special kind of coach. You only see it happen so often. Like it has to be like when you're at a big school, it's got to be kind of a home run hire, and
has to
it's
be.
really hard to maintain. We saw it with Michigan with Jim Harbaugh. Like that was like a home run hire completely. Michigan had been struggling for probably like a decade or so before he got there. He came in, he turned that place around. You saw it
Did
with
they cheat? I don't know.
Urban Meyer when he came into Ohio State. He kind of turned it
Bunch of
around, and then
hoodlums.
Ryan Day kept carrying the torch. Most recently,
Cignetti's an
um,
outlier, dude. Indiana's a bottom five fucking school.
yeah, but that also is not a school that had expectations either.
Exactly.
So
So
like he just did fantastic. Like schools that have expectations, like LSU, we just saw what happens when you miss.
missed.
Like you missed with Brian Kelly. Notre Dame is, I think they made a home run hire promoting Marcus Freeman. He's already made it to a national championship.
Maybe not home run,
Um,
but I think they it was a successful hire. You know, he hasn't yet, and then they just missed the playoffs. You know, and that the year they made the like that first year, like they had some bad losses. Maybe they shouldn't have made the playoffs even that year. I don't know.
yeah, I don't.
I feel like losing to Northern Illinois should just eliminate you from the playoffs just from the jump.
But when they got in the playoffs, they made it to the national
They did.
championship.
They did.
So I mean, I mean, he was the guy like I think LSU was kind of wanting to get. He was like almost like a pipe dream for a lot of these coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know because I mean, if you're looking at like Marcus Freeman versus Lane Kiffin, like is Lane Kiffin really better than Marcus Freeman? Lane Kiffin's never been to a national championship. He's never been to a conference championship. He's
I don't
never
know.
done any of that.
Lane Kiffin's
Um,
he's a little weasel. I
I'm
don't know.
curious to see if because this, if he crashes and burns at LSU, it's
He's
over for him.
done. He's done. But I mean,
He has to win a national championship.
got 90 plus $1 million with like 80% of it guaranteed.
He's
So
gonna
he
be
don't
there
give a
for at
shit.
least 3 years.
Three, yeah. He
Eh,
don't give a shit what the fuck happens because it doesn't really affect him at all. That contract is bad for LSU if it don't work out.
It's just it's odd. Like it was just
That
weird.
might set them back another 5, 8 years. Like it,
If this is a mistake, they're done. Like
they're in the same boat that we are in. Like
they're gonna fall
we might be
into
back 10 years. They're
they
right there
they
where we
might
are potentially.
they might fall into like a Nebraska level if they miss out
I
on this
think
hire.
I
But
think they'll do okay. I don't know if they can win it all, but I think they'll do okay.
they should be fine. It's just interesting, like the way Lane Kiffin, like his image and reputation was really tainted, and then he spent all these years building it back up, just to
Just
like what did you like
he
what?
spit on him on the way out.
Because I was like, okay, you like you basically like Ole Miss helped you rebuild your image and like reputation, and you're like highly
They gave
respected
him everything he
again.
wanted.
And then he just like kind of did another snake move, and it's like, oh well, maybe you never changed. Maybe this is just like who you always were,
Hey
and
man, you
that's
know what
kind of
you
what it
got.
seems like.
They know what they got. Like if Alabama opens up in 3 years, like
Well, that's what I'm hearing. That's what like Paul Finebaum and others was saying is like Lane Kiffin wants the Alabama job. Like that's his
it's Alabama or
goal.
USC, as you've stated previously.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gotta be.
one of those
And
two
neither
is
of
like
them were open this go, so
he's probably gonna stay at LSU for a while. And but from my understanding, he was begging Alabama to take him after Saban retired. Like that's what people are saying. Like Lane Kiffin was like begging them, but he just like he hadn't proven himself at Ole Miss yet, like he did this year.
yeah. Oh, and I guess apparently word on the streets was Florida State's athletic director was, slithering in the grass over to Lane Kiffin trying to. So apparently, like we have the fucking money, we could have bought Norvell's contract out, paid off all the assistants, and paid for Lane Kiffin's hiring with all the shit that he might want. Like we got the money. They just don't want to spend it
I
on
mean,
the off chance. Man,
I think it's just like
If Lane Kiffin was like, yeah, I'll take it. I think they would have pulled the trigger on it.
I think
Uh,
it's just like he didn't there's just too many options for him to
like you
pick
had
Florida
He had
State,
Florida, he had LSU, he had Florida State,
Auburn,
Auburn.
Penn
Those were
State if he
like
wanted it,
Penn
honestly, like they
State.
probably
So
would have hired him.
that's a big schools. And I think apparently like we might have been like Final Four, Final Three. I don't know. He might.
Y'all were probably definitely in over like Auburn and Penn State. It was probably like
Yeah, he probably
it's
just wants
probably
to
like
play.
you guys Florida and then or it was like LSU Florida then you guys I would assume.
Yeah, he probably just wants to stay in the SEC. Uh, but I thought it was interesting. I didn't suspect we was actually like kind of courting him
Yeah, I
in
did
the
see
back
that
channels.
story.
I was a little surprised by it. That just kind of like opened everybody's eyes and the fan base is like, oh, we actually have the money. So it's not a money factor that we why we're not firing Norvell. It's not like we can't afford it. It's because a lot of people are like, oh, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. We don't have the money.
Oh, you guys have the money.
Yeah, we fucking have the money. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
I think it's more just like there's just like you guys didn't find that home run higher this time, so it's like we might as well just give Norvell another year. If he turns it around, great, but hopefully next year, another candidate emerges that we feel
Yeah, and
like will be a home run
apparently
higher.
we fired our defensive back coach. That's the only firing that's really been happening recently. We fired Surtain. Uh, for some fucking reason, I'm not entirely sure why. Well, everybody's super confused by it. He was confused by it. Antonio Cromartie like came out on Twitter and was like what the fuck? You fired your best recruiter for defense, arguably the best coach on the team. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to a lot of people. I don't know, man. Like watching the secondary throughout the year, they do seem lost out there. Maybe he can't coach in the scheme that we're trying to run. Might be just easier to fire the secondary coach to find somebody that'll fit the 3-3-5 if that's apparently what the fuck we're gonna rock with going forward. It just
Yeah,
seemed weird. I somehow the athletic director's fucking still there. That
honestly,
little
I think
rat.
it's really gonna be just like what I think is really happening is they're just going to be working through back channels all off season and all next season, and they're planning on firing Mike Norvell. That's like the vibe I get is he's just sitting there waiting to
I,
to lose his job unless he turns something around, and
our
then it's
schedule
just
next
like
year is not
who comes up.
any easier. Not any easier. We open the season against Alabama again. Uh, Shit, maybe if we could beat them, yeah, cool. But if it turns into another type of thing this year, yeah, he's gone by week 6.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that like I don't know. It's gonna be really hard to find a candidate because like a lot of guys got locked up. Like Sataki at BYU almost went to Penn
Yeah.
State.
Yeah.
BYU came through and they got the money for him. Vanderbilt locked up their coach long term.
I
You're
mean,
looking at a lot of places that have locked their coaches up.
I think if we do fire a mid-season, we probably just wait. We just wait. We rock with an interim. Just kind of wait for something to somebody will get fired
Yeah,
or
it'll either be
somebody will move, take a jump. I think we could pull somebody from somewhere that's maybe slightly underperforming or wants to make a bigger jump from maybe a slightly smaller school, maybe not hit the group of five again. But if he does underperform next year, it's we probably let him go mid-season, maybe third quarter of the season, and just wait.
yeah, and there'll also be like
Unless he,
coordinator guys that could emerge,
yeah,
like
unless he turns it
a
around,
genius
you never know.
genius coordinator that's out there. There's gonna be some, no doubt, that'll kind of emerge as a potential option for Florida State. But I mean, it really just depends on what Norvell can do, because this is definitely his last chance. There's no way he can. You gotta actually, like, honestly, he probably has to like be making a serious push for the ACC championship
Has to be.
to keep his job.
We got to be like a game or two out, like no more than four losses.
Yeah,
But
because I mean,
it's
you're going
done.
from 2 wins to 5 wins. You need like 9 wins next year. Like
Yeah,
8-5 is not
a,
gonna cover it next year.
a decent improvement.
It's got you guys got to kind of get back into contention for him to keep his job. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're kind of at the end of this episode. I don't know what else
Yeah, I
there
mean,
is
we
to
didn't
really
touch on
cover.
Heisman, but it's basically down
Fernando.
to Mendoza, Sayan, Jeremiah Love, and Pavia. We kind of stated it coming into end of last week into this one. It was basically the winner of Ohio State, Indiana. Uh, Indiana
And
won,
Mendoza had some big throws that were kind of Heisman moments as
and
well.
even stat wise going into that game, Mendoza was leading, saying on I think everything but QBR and maybe interceptions, but that win's gonna kind of wipe out the stats. So in a way. So we're pretty much locked in on Mendoza winning it, saying being runner up, and probably Pavia third, Jeremiah Love fourth, in my opinion. You could maybe interchange those two, depending on like kind of I guess what you value stat wise and wins and stuff like that. But yeah, not much to really talk about on the Heisman front. So yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. There's a lot of rambling and talking about random stuff. So
Yeah, this is a way longer episode than yeah, nobody's probably watching at this point, but
but if you stuck with us and you liked what you've seen, yeah, this is our normal format for episodes. We just due to a slightly short week and neither of our teams playing.
yeah.
We just combined all the episodes into one. We might just keep this format the rest of the season due to lack of games overall. It's just kind of dwindling down into a shorter episode. So um, yeah, Dave, hop in the comments and just let us know what you guys think. Maybe you guys like Nick's PowerPoint on going
How to
forward playoff
fix.
formats, or if you guys have a different opinion, maybe we have some teams that we disagree with in the playoff format that you don't agree
Or
with.
maybe y'all want it to go back to BCS. Maybe y'all want it to go back to four
Yeah,
teams. Yeah, like, let us know.
let us know. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share, tweet, Snapchat, share, whatever the fuck y'all want, whatever they do these days. And we'll see you in the next one.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.